Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. 4 years ago, the world was preparing for the Winter Olympics in Korea. And the New York Times announced that global warming was going to make it too warm to hold Winter Olympics in the future. The 2018 Winter Olympics opening ceremony was the coldest on record. But the press was angry that NBC wouldn't acknowledge the Winter Olympics was threatened by global warming. The 2018 Winter Olympics was bitter cold with temperatures below minus 15 Celsius. That was back in the days when masks were used for something useful, which was to keep their faces warm. Now let's take a trip back in time to this date 90 years ago. 22 states were over 70 degrees, 10 states were over 80 degrees, and Texas was over 90 degrees. Temperatures in New York reached 74 degrees. There was a huge temperature difference across this frontal boundary. Temperatures on this side of the front were actually quite cold. Not surprisingly, there was a huge tornado outbreak in the southeastern United States that day. Tornadoes occur at the intersection of warm, moist air and cold, dry air. Deadly tornadoes occurred all over the southern states on January 14, 1932. Climate experts now say that winter tornadoes are caused by higher levels of CO2 in the atmosphere and that we didn't used to get them. But let's go back to this date in 1932. Lake Placid, New York was preparing to host the Winter Olympics. But temperatures in New York State were over 70 degrees and there wasn't any snow. California was trying to get the games quickly moved from New York to California. But at the end of the month, New York got a little bit of snow and they were able to hold the Olympics. They also trucked in a lot of snow from Canada to cover up the ski jump landing. You can see there wasn't much snow on the ground. And a lot of events had to be postponed due to the warm weather. But things are much better at Lake Placid now. This is what Lake Placid looks like today. And there's lots of bitter cold and snow in the forecast for the eastern United States. Warm weather on January 14th used to be much more common in the United States. The warmest year was 1928, and the second warmest year was 1932. On January 14, 1928, there was a tremendous heat wave which covered most of the United States. The 1932 Winter Olympics wasn't the only one threatened by a lack of snow. It also occurred in 1960. There was no snow at Squaw Valley, California a few days before the Olympics started, but at the last minute the rain changed to snow and they were able to hold the games. Things are better there now, though. Squaw Valley just had their snowiest December on record, with almost 200 inches of snow. 20 years ago, climate experts predicted the demise of snow in California, but I think the people skiing in deep snow at Squaw Valley right now are probably enjoying themselves. Another very warm January occurred in 1906 when temperatures in New York State reached 72 degrees Fahrenheit. There was a global heat wave going on during January of 1906. Two Australian states set their all-time high temperature record that month. According to the Australian Bureau of Meteorology in 1995, the highest temperature ever recorded in Victoria was 50.8 degrees Celsius on January 6, 1906. And the highest temperature ever recorded in Western Australia was 50.7 Celsius on January 22, 1906. But the Bureau of Meteorology has since erased both of these temperature records, as well as the one from New South Wales and Queensland. Climate science is a wildly corrupt venture. The participants in it make nonsensical predictions about the future, they don't understand the present, and they rewrite or erase the past. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on this scam for the past 14 years. You can visit him, Curie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.